One thing that I was thinking was that if I become the prime minister for a day, I would firstly, I do not condone the idea of being prime minister and these modern ways of setting up governance in countries and controlling populations. I do not believe in this. They say democracy, but it is not actually democracy, right? So, but if I am the authority that has control over making decisions for people, what I would do is the first thing that I would do is I would implement an education system where Islamic education is the priority. Islamic education is the major subject because you can study science, you can innovate, you can have all these modern inventions, right? But if you forget the very fundamentals, the very basics that are the reasons for implementing justice in the society, because justice is super important. Justice is way much more important than any of the innovation or any of the invention out there, right? So, but because we have ignored Islamic studies, we have ignored the very fundamentals, we have ignored the message of God. That is why there is not justice. And you study the science, you study the alongside that science, you study a lot of the limits that they impose over you. They set up your mindset for 16, 18 years of education and they decide the limits for you. They brainwash you, they brain wire you, and they set the patterns for your thoughts, for your thinking, and they do not let you discover, they do not let you think, and they do not teach you to think, right? These are all the things that they are scared of, because if you start thinking, if you start questioning the things, if you start questioning the education, what is it that it is going to do for you, and it is actually going to serve you. If people start asking these questions, if people start thinking about these things, it'll be very hard for them to control people, right? So that is why I would make it a priority. I'd make it compulsory in the education to study Islamic education and learn the message of God and learn how to implement justice in the society. And if there is not justice, what people can do to make sure that there is justice in the society, because implementing justice starts from the very foundation, very fundamental, right? If you're honest in your dealings, if you are honest with your brother, if you're honest while trading, even if you're selling fruits, if you're honest with that, that is the very fundamental of implementing justice in the society, right? If you're not honest, if your way of operation is not honest, you will tolerate other people being unjust, being dishonest in the society, right? But if you're honest, you will not tolerate other people being unjust and dishonest, right? So that is the way. And I think the way to implement this is to have education, and to learn the standards and values that God told us. And if we can implement what God told us, we can implement the best framework of justice in this society.